Here comes a new video game adaptation, and hopefully this one's good. Hey, what's up, you guys? It's me, Derek, the review, back again with another video. So the next video game movie that's coming along the line this year is Until Dawn. And if you haven't heard about this game, let me just refresh yourself on what this game is about. So Until Dawn is a Sony PlayStation game that came out where, in the case of the Telltale series, where you're making decisions based along the actions you make around the game, where you can choose certain things you want to do for certain characters, but along the line, there's some little mysterious stuff going around where it's a horror game, but then again, it's like, okay, so is everything here supernatural? Is everything here fine? And the choices you make affect the story down the line. And yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you, I haven't played Until Dawn when it first came out because I was like, I'm an Xbox guy. I'm not gonna be switching over to PlayStation. And a few years down the line, I said, you know what? I kind of do like PlayStation. But around the time this game was going on, I remember Dashi playing it. I remember Berlisi. His game, I can say I love Dashi, but Berlisi's gameplay made it the wild for me. His was the one I'm like, okay, you almost got it. You have everything perfectly laid out until the very end where I'm like, you killed everybody. I won't accept it, but I'm like, oh my god, man, he really fucked it up. Last year they came out with a remastered version of the game where I feel like, yeah, you added little things for the story, but the design, some of the outlooks of that game looked a bit more like they try to do it more cinematic with instead of cropping it with a full screen, they instead did it like a widescreen. I was like, okay, that's interesting and a new style, but something about the purity of the first version of this game, I'm like, I like that. And the fact that this is the game you set out to make, and without adding little elements behind the scenes, I feel like the game would have been better with a remaster just with better graphics. But when they announced the movie, I said, okay, that's going to be interesting since the game is a decision based game and you're going with it throughout a movie. So if you're going with it as a movie, are they going to be doing the same thing, or are you going to be choosing the right decisions characters are going to be making? And it's going to be a whole new experience of Until Dawn, but you're using it as a movie format. But there was a little tweaking within the whole announcement of this thing because the movie's called Until Dawn, but they came up with the behind the scenes of what's going to be going on with this film. And the movie is going to be okay, it's going to be in the same universe as Until Dawn, but the fact that they're going to be going through a whole bunch of horror based concepts and situations, and they said the characters in this movie are going to have to try and make it until dawn, but not get killed in whatever happens to them. If they die, the whole thing resets. That kind of reminds me of Happy Death Day, or more especially Final Destination. That to me is kind of confusing because the fact that you're going to be doing this whole thing where, okay, in the movie, they're going to be resetting over time, but in the game, you feel like, okay, they're going to be having to make these decisions, and whatever decisions they make at that moment are going to affect the story later along the line. I don't even know if it's going to be like a whole thing with this film because it's going to be like a time reset, but I might as well just get into it now because video games adaptations of the movies, they've been good, but then again, there are some studios that want to say, yeah, let's not copy the game format, let's do our own thing with these characters. So let's take a look at how everything's going to be going until dawn. PlayStation Company.
I'm looking for my sister. Does she look familiar to you?
She's gone missing.
I didn't say that.
Oh yeah, they said he
Do
was
I
coming back,
promise
but I don't
anything?
even know if he's supposed to be the therapist.
Up the road. That's why people get into trouble.
Feels like we're the first people here in years.
Looks like it too.
Weird.
That's my sister's signature. Oh, shit.
Guys, check it out.
What happened to these people?
Where's my car?
Where's Megan?
She's probably dead. Oh, wait, is that the same as It is kind of the same mask as Josh, but I don't think it is. Yep, reset, like I said.
What the fuck just happened? We all got fucking murdered. And now we're here again.
So the night is just gonna repeat itself.
I don't remember that happening last time.
So they're gonna, yeah, exactly like what they said, horror situations, but
Holy shit. every night something new is trying to kill us.
Oh, the Wendigos are still part of this. Okay. But
How many more deaths do you have in you?
Nobody's made it past 13 nights.
If we want to survive, we have to make it until dawn.
title card.
What is that?
So I guess the Wendigos are still like the main villain?
I'm just
Or
here,
the
guys.
anything?
Don't move.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh my
what?
god.
Is it gone?
Yeah, it's gone.
What?
It's still in my face!
From the looks of this trailer, I guess they have something going on, but I feel like from a video game standpoint, I guess I could say I know it's not going to be following the same game format, but then again, I feel like this movie is going to be a collaboration of what they could try to do with the game, but also a mix of something within the horror genre itself. Like if you look at the game itself, it is starting out like a slasher movie because I feel like, oh, there was a masked man in the woods, and I feel like, okay, there's going to be a killer behind all this, but we don't know who the killer could be in the woods. But then the whole story translated to a whole, wait a minute, something about demons and totems, and I guess this is supposed to be Hannah and Beth. I don't even know if that's supposed to be them. The way I see it laid out for this movie, I feel like they're going to be collaborating a bunch of horror genres into one, where I feel like every time all of them die before dawn is going to be resetting into a whole new catastrophe where I feel like, okay, we're going to be seeing somebody with a mask, and we're going to be some demons, also some Wendigos along the way, but I feel like it's going to be switching around depending on what happens that night. For me, I feel like it would have been cool to see the same actors at least portray themselves like within the game, but then I feel like Until Dawn, the game itself, is kind of a horror story if you think about it. So if we were to translate that into a movie, it could have been interesting, but then again, I feel like, yeah, the game is perfect on its own if you were to translate the game into the movie. I feel like it is kind of redundant, but if the way they're going to be going through with this, I feel like it would have been interesting if you added something new, and they did, kind of, for the most part. But calling this Until Dawn, I feel like everybody knows what Until Dawn is at this point. I feel like if they would have called this something else, that would have been interesting. But then again, everybody would have just been said, oh, this is like Final Destination or Happy Death Day, resetting time over and over again. I don't know. I feel like at this point, I kind of want to see how the movie interprets this whole thing where every decision you make depends on what happens the certain day. Because I feel like, okay, they're all going to get killed. Then they're going to be laid out on that poster board. And I feel like, okay, if you were to die that certain time, and let's say every genre you try to figure out how can you survive this, because I feel like every situation they're going to go through is going to be a different specific genre. Like you saw the guy in Josh's Mask, you saw the Wendigos, you saw a demon girl, and also a little parasite going up somebody's face. But who knows, they're going to be going with horror on this one, so let's try to give it a chance. All right, guys, thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. All my social media is down in the description below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.